Greetings, loves. It is I, Tactical Girlfriend. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's doing well. Today I have yet another series of clips from a handgun competition that I attended. And kind of like the last video that I did like this, I just want to kind of show you my runs and performance in all of these stages. I want to give you an idea, for those who aren't familiar, what competitive shooting looks like and what you can expect. And further break these stages down, just kind of work through what I was doing, what I was trying to do, what I did well, and things that I could work on. The main idea here is to review this footage and look at it critically, see what needs improvement with myself, and kind of apply this methodology to your own training. Hopefully you can apply this and benefit from being more critical and be more diligent in your assessment. Generally, recording video of yourself training is also a really good tool, and you probably aren't going to be completely mentally present to be completely critical of everything you're doing when you're actually doing drills or running a comp or whatever. So strongly recommend that you try recording yourself like I did here. It really is a beneficial training tool, as you will see for yourself. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, for the first stage here, the shooter starts holding keys and a briefcase, drops them, and picks up the gun. There are 3 shooting positions to move to here. First of all, you have to engage 2 cover targets with 1 headshot, the remaining 4 with 2 rounds to the alpha zones, while not shooting the black sections of the targets that represent hard cover, as those shots will not count. By the way, every stage of this event required 1 reload between the first and last shots. Now, my time on this stage was 16.83 seconds, but I got 13 point deductions, which is an additional 13 seconds for missing the requisite alpha hits, making my time 29.83 total. I had a really weird issue initially on the stage where the sun entered my optic at an angle that superimposed a weak dot when looking off axis through it. I thought my battery was low, or I forgot to put my optic on brightness setting lockout and used that ghost dot to aim initially, and it caused me to miss my targets entirely. It really threw off my confidence and ability to engage targets quickly until I reacquired the sight picture properly. I've never ran into this ghost dot issue before on my Holosun EPS, but it's a good thing to know about now. I also forgot my stage planning and attempted to engage the final target from the left of the barrier instead of the right. I could also be further back from the barrier so that I don't need to waste time compressing and extending my gun back out as much. Hugging cover is a very common problem and is a habit that shooters, like myself included, often need to break. I also sent some makeup shots into targets I didn't feel confident engaging. You'll notice that through all of this, I'm still struggling with stopping to visually confirm hits instead of just sending additional rounds when it feels appropriate and moving on without visual confirmation. This really slows me down, and it's why I shoot steel so much faster. I really need to work on my accuracy and grip overall to drive that confidence home so that I can cut my times down significantly. In general, I'm feeling good about my reloads on stages like this though. I'm clearly starting to get better about reloading as soon as I start moving from one position to the next. Still, I should try to reload with my gun still held up. Those generally are going to be faster reloads for me, and I've experienced this in dry fire, and bringing the gun closer to me and then having to punch it back out really just slows me down. It's definitely a habit I need to break. Moving along, we have stage 2. The shooter starts facing uprange with a bat. The shooter then needs to knock over the steel target with the bat, pick up the gun, and engage 5 targets with at least 2 shots to the alpha zones without shooting the no-shoots. My time on this stage was 10.95 seconds, but I did get 1 point deduction for getting a Charlie. That was 11.95 total for the score. I did have a good swing with the bat, and I did pick up my gun swiftly, but then I really struggled to pick up my sight picture quickly here, as you can see. I then had another decent reload, but again could benefit from keeping my shooting arm extended throughout the reload. I can tell by my hesitation at the very end to disengage that I didn't feel very confident in those last few targets, and yeah, I did get 1 Charlie. I think simply building consistency in my sight picture and my grip will likely go a long way here. Next up, we have stage 3. The shooter starts at low ready, engages the first target from position A, then engages the second target and the third on the way to position B. Then engage targets 4 through 6 from position B without shooting the no-shoot. My total time on this stage was 14.67 seconds. I had no point deductions. I got all the requisite alpha hits that I needed. Now, as you'll see here, I did feel like I missed a shot on that first target, and so while moving from position A to B, I re-engaged, which really slowed me down. I did feel good about some of those makeup shots though. While they did take some more time, I did run through them pretty quickly, and I didn't waste too much time to visually confirm after the fact. I also stayed as far back from the barrier as I could, and I moved around it pretty quickly. I got all my requisite hits, got no penalties. I could be faster, but otherwise, perfect run. On to stage 4, the shooter starts sitting facing uprange with corn in hand. The shooter then stands up, retrieves a gun downrange, kneels at position A, and engages all 5 targets with 2 shots to the alpha zones each without shooting any of the 2 no-shoots. My time on this stage was 14.72 seconds, but I did get a 5-second penalty added for grazing a no-shoot unfortunately, so my score was 19.72. Now, right out of the gate, I did get the chair stuck to my butt. It got caught on my IFAK as I stood up, which really messed up my initial movement. I also forgot my stage planning again, and almost forgot my reload, which I did awkwardly in the middle of shooting one target. You also notice that again, I was trying to confirm hits visually, and that definitely slowed down some of my target transitions. And again, I winged one of those no-shoots, so that's not good. Other than that, I did get all my requisite hits on this one at least. Moving along to stage 5, the shooter starts at position A, engages targets 1 and 2 without shooting the no-shoot. The shooter then runs to position B, engages 2 targets, and then does the same at position C. My time on this stage was 11.16 seconds, and I got no point deductions. This was easily my best stage by far. I got all the requisite hits, so that was nice. I still could really work on faster sight acquisition here. I did instinctively start to try to reload when I was moving away from position A. I also did actually execute a good reload, moving on from position B to C though. I worked around those barriers nice and efficiently. Now, I could have made some of those makeup shots more instinctively rather than slowing down again for visual confirmation, but again, I got all my hits, no penalties, another perfect run. On to stage 6, shooter starts seated with a fork and knife in hand. At the buzzer, shooter drops the fork and knife and grabs a gun, engaging targets 1 through 3 while seated. Then the shooter stands up and moves on to kneel at position B, engaging the remaining 2 targets. My time on this stage was 11.09 seconds. I did get 1 Charlie, so that's 1 point deduction, so my total was 12.09. The sideways targets really throw you off on stages like this because that offset alpha zone in the body just makes you do a little bit more mental calculus than you're used to doing. You can tell I felt a little less confident engaging them here by making additional makeup shots on each, and I didn't have to do that on the upright target. I also could have stood up faster instead of looking for visual confirmation of hits again. I did have another decent reload on the move, and I remember my stage planning and leaned to one side of the barricade to engage both targets at B, saving myself some time from switching sides. It does appear that I slowed down, acquiring my sights at position B. Again, I need to just train to acquire my sights from awkward positions more. And yeah, again, I got 1 Charlie, otherwise a pretty decent run. Finally, the last stage, stage 7, the shooter starts at position A, engages targets 1 through 3 without shooting the no-shoot. The shooter then moves on to position B and engages the leaning target behind the barrels. The shooter after that moves to position C and engages the remaining 2 hardcover targets. My time on this stage was 13.4 seconds. I got 1 point added for yet another Charlie, making my time 14.4. You'll notice in the very beginning here that I'm kind of slow bringing my gun up to target. I just need to be able to snap quicker to that target once the beeper goes off. You'll also notice I index on the no-shoot for a moment instead of moving on to the next target. Again, I just need to remember my stage planning. And I did have a decent reload on the move, but I was really slowed down by that last-minute decision to make a makeup shot on target 4. Again, I got 1 Charlie, otherwise not a bad run. So my overall takeaway from all of this, I didn't have any procedural errors. I remember to reload at every stage, and that's just something that a lot of people forget. That is very common, so I'm glad about that. Stage planning definitely still needs work, but I'm slowly starting to see more improvement as I adopt that mentality and just get used to being more diligent about that. My reloads looked pretty smooth, but again, I would benefit from keeping my gun up throughout the process more. I also need to work on continuing to build better habits around faster sight acquisition and confidence in accuracy through more consistent grip. I'm not nearly as slowed down by visual confirmation of hits as I used to be, but it's still a glaring issue, and it's definitely holding me back from moving at full speed. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. At the very least, hopefully this was entertaining to watch some more competition footage. I am attending a lot of competitions lately, and so that is just kind of my bread and butter right now, and I'm getting a lot out of it. So hopefully this also encourages people to go out and try comp for themselves It is absolutely, bar none, probably the fastest way for you to critically approach your training and figure out what you need to work on in your gun handling skills. I also really hope that this just gets the juices flowing and gets people thinking about how they can more critically approach their training so that they're not wasting a bunch of time and money and ammo and other resources and not getting that much out of their training. Also, don't be shy, jump in the comments below. I'd love to see what your process is for evaluating your own shooting. I think this needs to be more of a discussion in these kinds of spaces, and if we're actually serious about shooting, we should be talking about it more. And if you enjoyed this, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell too. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to all my supporters on Patreon. I could not do any of this without you. This channel is not monetized in any other way. I spend a bunch of time, ammo, money, resources, you name it, on this, and it's a pretty thankless job. I just do it because I like to share this stuff with you. This is a labor of love, but yeah, it's very expensive, so I could use all the help I can get. If you want to go help me out, you can always go to patreon.com/tacticalgf. The biggest contributors are named at the end of the video. And that's all the comp footage I've got to review with you today. I really appreciate you all tuning in. Please be good to each other out there. And as always, please take care. Bye!